What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 5-3. Man, I'm back again. You can tell from the title that this is gonna be a video about the BNCO, the blue.note.crip.organization. It's right there on my arm. People say you don't tattoo something on you unless you really love it. Well, there it is there. Y'all can do the math with that one because it's on me. But anyway, it's a lot of mystique around it. It's a lot of wondering about it. Now, the majority of people that wonder about this organization, that want to hear about it, are people that are from out of states. It's not a lot of, from the homies within LA, within Cali, because we know. But it's the people in other states who read books, heard this, heard that, and just want to know. Over the years, you've heard a lot of stuff about CCOs, this, CCOs, that, and you've heard, about Blue Notes too, but not as much as the other. So I'm gonna speak on it. Today. I'm gonna let you know off the rip. Even though it is not up and running the way it was in yesteryear, still and all, there's going to be some stuff I'm gonna speak on. It's going to be some stuff I'm not gonna speak on. Simple as that. So therefore, me personally, I became a Blue Note in 1986. When it was presented to me, I liked the ideology. I liked what they were saying. I liked what it was about, and I embraced it wholeheartedly. I jumped in feet first. During that time, you had a lot of people throughout the system, homies that was coming in, that was fed and giving horror stories about paperwork. Now, when you become a Blue Note, you are considered being under paperwork. Now, for those of you that are out of state, and only thing you hear about paperwork is when all these people keep jumping on the internet with this buffoonery, talk about paperwork this, paperwork that, this person snitched, this person snitching, that person snitching, paperwork. I don't have nothing to do with that. I leave that to them. Paperwork, for me, is what I'm speaking on, is when you become up under the banner of a prison gang, Blue Notes or CCO. You are automatically considered under paperwork. It was a lot of misconceptions, man. It was a lot of lies told. It was a lot of not blasphemy, but I'm looking for the word when you try to defame something, when you try to downgrade something. But anyway, you hear from the Bloods, they'll say no cut. No cut. When you hear the Bloods say no cut, that means that they don't want to fool with any of their people in the prison system that are under paperwork. They had their own paperwork. They had their own organizations. Okay. On the Crip side of the fence, we would run into the same thing. They didn't, a lot of Crips, as the years went on, they did not want to deal with homies under paperwork. They did not trust they homies that was under paperwork. They did not believe in, giving their allegiance to something else other than what we call their birth set. You know what I'm saying? Now, your birth set is the set that you were from on the street, that you came to the penitentiary, claiming and pushing. That's where you're from. That's your birth set. That's your original thing you pushed. So a lot of them didn't believe in splitting their loyalties, or which they thought it was going to be splitting their loyalties. Now, in a way, you could say yes, it was, or you could say, well, no, because at the end of the day, homie, Avalon Crip. Always have been, always will be. But Yes, I was a Blue Note. Yes, I was under paperwork. I came up under their banner and had no qualms about it, had no misgivings about it. And to this day, I have no regrets about it. You feel what I'm saying? No regrets about it. Like I say, people say you tattoo, a lot of people say you go tattoo on your body what you love. You know? There it is there. Um, Now, I remember back when I first started coming to prison, a lot of the homies that was coming up under the BNCO, we kept it hush. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't in certain main lines in the California system. It was we didn't like blare it out. We didn't flaunt it. If you knew, you knew. If you didn't, you didn't. If I was on the yard and you didn't know I was a Blue Note, then that was on you. I was not finna go out my way to like, hey man, me, I'm such and such. You feel what I'm saying? In fact, it was the exact opposite. I went out my way not to let you know until it was time for you to know. You hear a lot of the horror stories and false rumors about if you go up under paperwork, they gonna make you hurt your own homie and this, and this. Not gonna, no. Not us. Not us. That was not our skilo. That was not our get down. And that was one of the things I loved about Blue Notes. that was not a requirement of us to like if one of our homies from our set was did something and it needed to be handled, specifically singling you out just because you from that set to go handle that business. Wasn't our thing. We left that to other people. That wasn't our thing. Um, did we have fallen outs with homies that was from our sets? Yeah, on occasion it would happen. Like I tell you, you know what I'm saying? I had homies from Avalon that I was on the yard with that we didn't even speak once they found out. You know what I'm saying? It back then, it as the years went on, it wasn't as serious, it wasn't as critical as it was in the mid 80s. And I had homies like, oh cuz, man, I ain't man, woo, 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 and went on about their business. I got homies right to this day that we still don't speak to each other behind that. You know what I'm saying? They was up under the misconception, oh man, can't trust you. Can't trust you. No, man. So now, one of the questions I know a lot of people want to ask, a lot of people want to know is, well, Toon, why? Why did you become a Blue Note? I became a Blue Note, homie, because I'm a throwback. At that time, I was a throwback Crip. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm still a throwback Crip, but I was a throwback Crip to the early 70s. How the homies, the ideologies that the homies had in their head then. The love that Crips had for each other. You know what I'm saying? The year of doom. I call it the year of doom. 1979 hit. Everything went out the window. Everything went haywire. You could name so many things that happened to the Crips in 1979, and that's why I call it the year of doom. To wars, to deaths, to homies going to jail. That was a very harsh year. That was the year, that was a turning point for CRIPS that year. But prior to that, the mentality that they had, I always had admired it and always wanted to adhere to it. So when I was presented with BNCO, with Blue Note, when I heard what it was about and I heard how they was getting down, I'm like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's my thing right there. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? One of my first tattoos is my tattoo on my chest. Big. CRIPS. Crips. Because that's what I was about. That's what I was about. True enough, yeah, I'm from Avalon. Yeah, I'm from Avalon. Always have been, always will be. But what was bigger? Nothing was bigger than CRIP. And now and that was my mentality, man. You know what I'm saying? Blue Notes took it back to the grassroots of things. You feel what I'm saying? And one of the things that I adhered to the most was, you know what I'm saying, no Crip on Crip violence. Now, as the years went on, years and years later, I kind of fell short on that one because I'm gonna get to that. But that was one of the things that I really held on to. I really held on to. Now, was there certain Crip on Crip violence? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Of course, especially when the times came about that we had minor confrontations, minor or major, whatever you want to call them, whether you want to call it a minor confrontation or whether you want to call it a major confrontation with other prison Crip organizations. That was, I'm gonna just say that, with other prison Crip organizations. Was there run-ins? Yeah. I had several. I'm not gonna really get into it. I'm not gonna get into a lot of names. I'm not gonna get into a lot of incidents as far as that right there goes. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stuff had to be done. 1989, I hit Corcoran. And when I got to Corcoran, there were already blue notes on the yard. There was already blue notes on the yard. But a lot of the Crips that was there, they didn't know about it. They didn't know them. They didn't know what they were. They didn't know who was under paperwork on this yard. So when I hit the yard, everybody was just running around frolicking and doing what they do. I spoke on it in another video. I had got into it. I had a confrontation with the Long Beach car over a dude that was claiming a set that was a straight up Mark Buster. But during the confrontation, behind the words that were being said, I told it, you know what I'm saying, you know, something, when your emotions get involved, you'll say stuff out your mouth. And I was accused of something. And when the dude accused me of it, I'm like, homie, man, you got me messed up, homie. That I ain't got nothing to do with blase, skippy, blase, what you talking about, homie. I'm a blue note. And they're off. That opened up a can of worms in that prison. Because like I said, wasn't nobody in that prison really tripping on paperwork at the time. So when I landed and let it be known what I was and what I was about, dudes started looking like, what? You feel what I'm saying? So now that put everybody that was hanging with me on the glass. Everybody that was around me, it kind of put them on the glass. Now dudes is looking at it like, oh, he won. And they was pretty much right. Corcoran was a blue note prison. It was a blue note prison. It was the yard, at least the yard I was on was. There wasn't any people from other factions. I'm gonna just say it like that. There wasn't any people from other factions on the yard that I knew of. You know what I'm saying? Or that we knew of. You feel what I'm saying? And so, of course, by default, I said Corcoran, it was a blue note prison. And like I say, if there were other factions on the yard, we didn't know about it. And if at that time back then, if we would have known about it, it would have been dealt with. Because of the mentality that we had during that time. You feel what I'm saying? So anyway, we had kind of fell out with the whole yard almost though. What I call all the regular Crips on the yard, they was like, man, these dudes right here, because we moved like a real live army. We moved like a unit. You know what I'm saying? When they was running around the yard, getting into it with each other, wanting to fist fight, we wasn't with that, homie. You know what I'm saying? No, not when I was on the yard, it wasn't. Um, we let it be known. We set the precedence. We let it be known. If you get into it with us, we not finna be fist fighting spit. You finna get this key soup put on your behind. And they knew it. Did we demonstrate a couple of times? Yeah, we had to. But after we demonstrated a couple of times, the other Crips on the yard, they was like, oh, okay, let's leave them alone. Did they like us? No. Were they gonna F with us? No. So, you know, it was a thing. They seen us, we seen them. They stayed out our way. We wasn't tripping. It was a few incidents that happened in that yard, because I ended up catching a shoe turn and leaving in 90. Was it 90 or 91? I think it was 91. But anyway, I ended up catching a shoe turn and leaving. But before I left, though, the whole time I was there, we ran our program with an iron fist. With an iron fist, man. It's a lot of misconceptions, man, on what we were about. And I can sit here and go through a whole lot of ups and downs, turns around and twists on what we were about. But to simple it up and put it in a simple form, we were about traditional cripping, man. Simple as that. We were about traditional cripping. We weren't about Crips taking advantage of each other. We weren't about Crips playing games on each other. You know what I'm saying? We weren't about Crips being extorted. We weren't about Crips, you know what I'm saying, because you hold a certain position, you felt that Crips that were up under you were obligated, you know what I'm saying, to function and act towards you or act toward whatever it was in a certain type manner. No, we wasn't about that. And that was one of the things I loved about that. You know what I'm saying? That's why at the end, in the long run, we stayed the course. We actually stood the test of time. BNCO stood the test of time. You feel what I'm saying? We didn't have to go through a lot of abdication. And what you call abdication is dudes like, hey man, I don't want nothing to do with that. We gone. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to go through them type ups and downs because of our leadership, because our leadership was so strong, because our leadership played so fair with us. No matter what prison, you know what I'm saying? When word came from here, came from there, came from here, came from there, you know what I'm saying? Our leadership was on point. For real. We didn't have to go through our leadership getting a big head. You know what I'm saying? And feeling like they walked on water, and that because they word was law with us, that they could have us doing all type of if and ipsy bapsy dipsies. You know what I'm saying? No. Back then I was sort of what you might want to call a hothead. You know what I'm saying? Did I break some rules? Yeah, I did. Was I disciplined about them? Yes, I was. Like I say, the first infraction, you might have to run laps. You might have to write standards. You know what I'm saying? You might have to do book reports or whatever. The second one, probably a little bit different. Shout out to the homie Lavelle. Me and Lavelle was real tight when I was in Pelican Bay. The homie Lavelle is Big Lavelle. He from Raymond Crip. And that man had to put up with me. He had to put up with me a whole lot, because every time he looked up, I was on the BS. I was trying to do this. I was trying to do that. I wanted to poke him. I wanted to poke them. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, no, Toon, no, we ain't doing that. No. I had went through the same type ups and downs years prior on the other side of the pen when I was in Pelican Bay, when we had went to war with the Mexicans, and when we finally came off lockdown, they let the blacks off and they didn't let the Mexicans off. And while we were off lockdown and the Mexicans were on lockdown, the whites was making knives, giving them to the Mexicans so that when they were able to come off lockdown, they could attack us. And you know what I'm saying, Crips on the yard, they got word that these dudes was doing that. And I wanted to take off on them. And what happened was the administration, the administration, what they would do after so long go by, they'd get, you know, influential heads from this group, and they'd get influential heads from that group and try to put you in the gym or put you somewhere and let you talk it out, hash it out. You know what I'm saying? Let you come to agreement to kill whatever you got going on this yard. Now, I've never been a fan of that. I've never been one for that. I've never been one to want to come to the table and call peace. Bump that. Back then, I was a different animal back then, y'all. I ain't never been with it because I've seen it happen too many times to where peace was supposed to have been called, and then when the yard opened up, bang, there it go. Homies getting hurt. So I wasn't with that. No. My ideology was, man, let everybody who gonna get down just get down until everybody go in the lockup and ain't nothing but some busters left on the yard anyway that ain't gonna do nothing, and it'll die out on its own. You know? So when the administration that came with these shenanigans when I was in Pelican Bay, this was 1992. I just got out to shoot. And when the administration came with these shenanigans on we need people to, you know, the heads to come in and talk. They wanted to hold it in the back in the chapel. So I went to the homies that was over me at that time. And I told them, I'm like, cuz, check this out. Let me go. And they was like, no, Tune, what you want to go for? I'm like, cuz, let me go. And boom, when I get up in the room, once they go to talking this and that, cuz, I'm going to take off on them. You know what I'm saying? I was going to go in with my knife and I was going to just take off. But now they didn't want that because they wanted it to die down. You know, let's come off lockdown. Let's get back to a normal program. Man, I was so wild back then. I don't care nothing about no normal program. I don't care nothing about it dying down. I want to get them. I wanted to get them. I was ready to earn my third teardrop. At the time, I only had 2. I was ready to earn my third teardrop. And of course, I got 3 now, though, but that's another story. And so they was like, no, Tune, no. But me being a hard-headed cat that I was, I got with another dude and told him, hey, man, look, these white boys, they make it nice. Give them to the Mexicans, man. You know what's up? You know, they were like, so he was like, so my partner, it was 4 Figure Dave from Bounty Hunter. Because he had the same type ideology I had at the time. And so we got together and say, man, look, hey, we finna take off. My people told me I can't do this, I can't do that. But I was like, I was, man, Bumpy, what you gonna do? You like, Tune, I'm gonna do what you do. I'm like, poo, okay, I'm like, cool, let's go. There we go. We did what we did. Boom, lockdown, gone again. Anyway, stuff now you gonna have incidents like that. You gonna have homies that get out of hand a little bit, get a little bit rambunctious, and they gotta be disciplined. They gotta go through what they go through to get their mind back right, to let them know, hey, look, it's a chain of command here. You are not solo dolo. You come up under a banner now. And you're going to follow the rules and regulations. You're going to mind somebody. You know? And so what I had to face behind that, I faced it. I faced it like a champ and went on about my business. But, you know, this is the thing. Unity. Unity is a must, man. Unity is a must. Discipline is a must. And the other word I'm looking for is dang, I had a brain fart. It slipped my mind. But that I've always been a fan of that. I've always been a fan of unity. I've always been a fan of discipline. And I've always been a big fan of the word I'm looking for is oh man, the word I'm looking for is unity, trust, and organization. Organization. If you don't have organization, if you don't have things organized, then what you have is a form of controlled chaos almost. You know what I'm saying? When you got a bunch of dudes running around and everybody want to be a chief and don't nobody want to be an Indian, then you have a form of chaos. There is ample opportunity and ample room for a bunch of BS to seep in and a bunch of stuff to go wrong. There has to be a chain of command, you know? There has you got your heads and you got your soldiers. Now, this is the thing. A lot of people would ask me, throughout the years, Toon, man, are you a leader or are you a follower? Are you a leader or are you a follower? And over the years, once I started getting a little bit smarter, I learned how to tell a person, man, I'm an individual. What? I'm an individual. So now, I had a couple people they contemplated, thought about it, man, individual? We all individuals. No. Not all. Not in the form of what I'm speaking on. And so they was like, well, man, what is an individual to you? I said, man, an individual is a person, if you are a part of a certain type of structure, you know when to lead and you know when to follow. There comes a time to lead and there also comes a time to follow. You have to be capable of doing both. You have to be capable of doing both, man. One of the main mentalities that I've always despised, I've always hated and disliked, when a person had that mentality, oh man, you can't tell me nothing. What? You can't tell me nothing. Oh. Okay. All right. You fall into the category of a group of people that's known as having to be taught the hard way. Because when you behind them walls, oh, you're going to listen to somebody somehow, some way. You're going to listen. So like I say, I've always been a big fan of structure, man. When you have structure, unity, togetherness, that's when you got the machine. That's when you have the machine. That's when you come together. Let me show y'all something, man. You see this one finger? I could take this one finger, man, and I can poke you in your forehead. I can poke you right here in your jaw with this one finger. What's it gonna do? What it gonna do? It ain't gonna do nothing but make the person who got poked mad. That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna make that person mad. That one finger. This person that's just out there willy-nilly doing what they doing, and there's no unity. There's no togetherness. There's no cohesiveness. He doing whatever he want to do. He doing what he want to do. He doing him. He doing him. He doing him. All five of them doing what they doing, And that thumb can't hurt. The index finger can't hurt. The pinky can't hurt. The pointy fingers, none of them can hurt individually. None of these fingers can hurt you individually. But when you have that unity, when you have that togetherness, when you come together, now, let me hit you now. Wham! Knockout blow. That's what unity brings. That's what structure brings. It takes them individual fingers and it brings them together to make a powerful fist that can knock you out. And I've always been a fan of that from a young age on up. Even before I knew anything about what was going on in the prison throughout my YA state. I'm a YA baby. Throughout my YA state, I learned. YA teaches you a lot. And then when you move on to the prison, you continue to learn more and more. BNCO, man, brought Crips from everywhere, every different direction together. You know what I'm saying? It brought them together under one banner. Strong cohesiveness, man. It's a lot I'm skipping around. And that's on purpose. You know what I'm saying? But for those who want to always keep asking me, Tune, what is a blue note? What is paperwork? What is a blue note? What is a blue note? Just look at it as it was a prison crip organization. It was a prison crip organization. And in my words, it was the best thing that ever happened to Crips in the California prison system. That's why we stood the test of time. You know what I'm saying? That's why we stood the test of time. When others didn't, Blue Notes did. We stood when others failed. Now a lot of people say, who failed? Who failed? I'm not putting no pointing no fingers at no certain groups, you know what I'm saying? But because it was thousands of Crips in the prison system, you know what I'm saying, that was just running willy-nilly, doing whatever. But what I'm saying is Blue Notes stood when others sat down. Blue Notes prevailed when others failed. It is what it is, was what it was, it's gonna always be what it's gonna be, man. You know? The California prison system has changed drastically over the last 30 years. 30 years. Like I say, my last day in the California prison system was in 1996. Whatever came after that, I wasn't privy to. I was not there. I wasn't there for it. Had no say-so in it. Boom. That was about those who came to prison behind me. They did what they did, and they gonna do what they gonna do. They still in there doing what they do. But I had a person ask me, Tune, do you regret becoming a Blue Note? No. Not one iota. Not one smidgen. Not one bit do I regret it. You know what I'm saying? It was a chapter in my life. It was a chapter in my life. It happened, and it is what it is. It was what it was. Gonna be what it's gonna be. You all know that's my saying. But yeah, I was proud of it, very, and still am today. It's not much more I can go into, or that I'm willing to go into about it. You know what I'm saying? But I hope that little bit right there kind of like enlighten you on what the Blue Notes were about. The picture on the thumbnail, that's me and some of my people. That right there is me and some of my people. I'm finna let you see the picture, and I'm gonna tell you their names and where they from. Here it is. You check that out. True Riders right here, Foundation. True Riders. This Corcoran, 1989. That's the homie G-Rod from Playboy Gangsta Crip at the top. Across from him, that's a little loony from Mansfield Gangsta Crip. That's me, Cartoon, Fire Trey Avalon, Gangsta Crip. Across is the homie Crazy T from Trey 57, Gangsta Crip. And down in the middle, that's the homie Ant Dog from 4 Trey, Gangsta Crip. Come together, man, under one banner in that prison. Y'all know what's happening. All right. That was that. Them was the homies right there. You know what I'm saying? Them was the homies right there. And as you can see, the gangster car, which we wasn't even looking at the gang. It was no such thing as the gangster car back then. You know, I say it now. Back then, it wasn't really no such thing as a gangster. Just so happens, everybody was a gangster Crip on that picture, you know. But anyway, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53. I hope that sheds a little light, because that's on the people who keep asking me about Blue Notes. I hope that shedded a little light onto the subject for you. If it didn't, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm not going to shed any more light on it than what I just did. So anyway, man, at the end of the day, man, keep your head up. Stay above ground, man. And I represent the gangsters. I'm out. Peace.
Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie. Ain't nobody gangsta boogie. 4, 2, 1, man. 4, 2, 1, man.